Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's meeting of Liverpool City Council's Highways and Public Spaces Representation Committee. Attending today's meeting this evening, we have Councillor Sharon Connor as Chair and Cllr Pam Thomas as the other member of this evening's committee. And if I can now bring in Councillor Connor.
Hello everybody, welcome to the first virtual Highways and Public Space Representation Committee. My name is Councillor Sharon Connor. I'm the Cabinet Member for Regeneration and Highways, and I have Councillor Pam Thomas. Pam, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'm Councillor Pam Thomas and I'm Cabinet Member for Inclusive and Accessible City.
Thank you. Item number 1 on the agenda is declaration of interest. Can I invite members and officers present to declare any significant interest relating to the main agenda items? None?
No.
Thank you. Item number 2, Glenconner Road. Revocation, prohibition of waiting and one-way traffic, experimental order 2019, Childwall Ward. Can I refer you to pages 1 to 22 of your agenda containing details of representations received in relation to the proposals? Can I advise committee that an email has been received in support of the proposals and local board councillors have sent out a letter and received 2 responses also in support, and no requests have been received to address the committee on the proposals. Please now invite officers to address the committee on the proposals for item number 2.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Russell Oakes and I'm the Assistant Engineer of Traffic Management and Road Safety for the Council, and I project manage the implementation of the one-way road and waiting restrictions. The scheme was brought to us following concerns raised by the community to councillors over road safety regarding the perception of rat running to avoid signals at the junction of Chelwood Avenue and Bowring Park Road. We undertook a traffic survey which found that 80% of traffic travelling in a westbound direction was potentially rat running. The opposing eastbound direction, we found 46% of traffic was potentially rat running. The survey was undertaken on the 11th of July 2017. At the same time, we undertook a speed survey and found that the mean average in both directions was 14 to 15 miles an hour. This falls within the 20 mile an hour speed limit for Glenconner Road. Consultation was undertaken later on, where we've sent 76 letters to residents on Glenconner Road and Glen Eagles Road. We received 33 responses back. 67% was in support versus 33. That in normal figures is 22 people versus 11. We've decided that due to the split, an experimental order was the best way to implement this scheme. This would allow frontage properties the opportunity to adjust to the new operation of the highway. So it would allow 6 months for people to adjust to the operation of the highway. During the 6-month period, we received 10 objections and 2 messages of support. We later followed up a consultation just to see how the scheme had progressed. Towards the end of the initial 6-month objection period, and we found that 65% were in favour of a one-way and 35% were opposed, to which we reached out to the objectors to ask whether they wish to retain their submissions, to which the answer was yes. The decision was then taken to present the scheme to the Highways and Public Spaces Representation Committee. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you, Russell. Pam, do do you have any questions for the scheme proposal?
I've read the report, Chair, and the representations made, and it seems to me that the survey that was done shows that there's been clear problems there. But any solution always brings other difficulties for some people, and you're never really going to get 100%. And I do understand that some people won't be happy. But overall, I would say that that the scheme needs to stay in place.
Just to echo those comments that Councillor Pam Thomas has made, is from the information within the report, the majority of local residents are in support of retaining this scheme. And obviously around when we're looking as a city to improve road safety and look at solutions, it does seem that this is a clear way forward to address some of the issues of how this has come about in the first place. So I propose that we approve this scheme. Can I just ask Councillor Thomas, do you agree with that proposal?
Yes, I agree, Chair.
Agreed. So agreed to approve the proposal on item number 2. Thank you. Item number 3 is Liverpool City Centre connectivity, Brownlow Hill Central Ward. And I advise the committee that no requests have been received to address the committee on the proposals. Can I invite officers to address the committee, please, on the item?
Hello, I'm Oliver Brown. I work for Amy on behalf of the City Council. We've been working on this scheme. Brownlow Hill scheme forms part of the Liverpool City Centre connectivity scheme, which is a programme of transport improvement measures at strategic locations across the city centre aimed at supporting economic growth and supporting Liverpool's position as a major visitor destination. Connectivity scheme aims to improve traffic flow whilst providing better cycle links and more appealing environment for pedestrians that will focus on walking and cycling as a first choice for short journeys in the city. Proposals for Brownlow Hill include the provision of a cycle lane on the north side of the carriageway to allow cyclists to safely travel uphill. Cyclists travelling down Brownlow Hill will be on street. Loading restrictions are proposed to keep curbside clear of parked vehicles and keep traffic movement on the route and maintain space for cyclists. Works will also include footway improvements. Following consultation and legal advertisements of the traffic regulation orders, one objection was received to the proposals. With the resident concerned, the scheme will prevent vehicles from dropping off and picking up in the vicinity of the property. As a result of the objections, the proposals were amended to reduce the length of the proposed cycle lane, ensuring space was maintained for the drop-off and pick-up. The objector also commented that the scheme would impact parents undertaking the school run on the opposite side of the carriageway, but the restrictions in this location not being amended. The change was shared with the objector, who then requested assurances that the pedestrian guardrail which was existing on Brownlow Hill will be maintained. With a cycle lane proposed, the normal situation will be the removal of the guardrail to avoid cyclists being pinned against the rail in the case of a collision with a car. Following the comments from the objector, the design has been reviewed and the guardrail is to be maintained but set back further from the curb line than it normally would be to reduce any risk to cyclists of being pinned. The objector was also concerned that a bus stop may be removed from Brownlow Hill, but the bus stop is to remain. These reassurances were given to the objector, but the objection has not been removed. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. So can I just confirm, because from reading the report and from the information that you've just provided, is that we've addressed all the concerns raised by the objector?
Yes.
Okay. Pam, have you got any comments or questions?
Yeah, I've read the report and I saw some clear clarification on dropping off points, which the officer was able to provide. So I know the objector hasn't withdrawn the objection, but they haven't said one way or the other really. But I think the the concerns have been addressed. So I would support the scheme going ahead.
Thank you. And just a comment from me, again, agreeing with Councillor Thomas on, I do believe that we have considered the points that have been raised, and we have made alterations to the scheme to enable, you know, those concerns to be resolved. So I would propose, and as Councillor Thomas has agreed, propose to approve the proposal. Do you agree with that, Tom?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, agreed.
Thank you. Item number 4, Liverpool City Centre Connectivity, Victoria Street Central Ward. Can I refer you to pages 42 to 76 of your agenda pack, containing details of the representations received in relation to the proposals? Can I advise the committee that no requests have been received to address the committee on the proposals? And can I now invite the officer to address the committee, please?
Well, it's another one of mine. The Victoria Street scheme is another part of the connectivity project, as discussed previously. The scheme sees improvements in pedestrian crossing facilities and footway widening work whilst narrowing the carriageway. As a result of the reduced carriageway width, no waiting and no loading at any time restrictions are proposed on the main drag of Victoria Street, with any loading facilities and taxi ranks contained within lay-by so as not to interfere with traffic. Paying display parking at the southwestern end of the carriageway to be removed and replaced with a taxi rank operating 24 hours a day. A taxi rank on the northeastern side of the carriageway is also proposed to operate between 8 PM and 8 AM to support the nighttime economy at that end of the carriageway. Loading bays are proposed on the southeast side of the carriageway, setting lay-bys near the Peter Street junction and outside the Chambly Hotel to support local businesses. A disabled parking bay for 4 vehicles is proposed outside the Chambly Hotel with a maximum duration of stay of 3 hours. And further disabled parking bays are proposed near the Peter Street junction and Temple Court with no limit on the duration of stay. Following consultation and legal advertisements of the traffic regulation orders, 4 formal objections were received. One was from the Met Quarter, who requested that a proposed loading bay not be continued with because it would interfere with plans for outdoor dining on the street. So that bay is being removed from the proposal. And the objection was withdrawn. The remaining 3 objections, one objector suggested that the proposed nighttime taxi rank southwestern end of the street would lead to an increase in sexual assaults, with victims bundled into waiting taxis. Council's licensing team was contacted to see if any concerns had been raised against clubs and bars in the area, but nothing was on file. The objector was contacted again to gain further details of the concerns, but no response was returned. The current situation is that the space where the taxi ranks are proposed have bus stops in place, which would keep curb space clear, allowing vehicles to pull up, albeit in contravention of the bus stop order. It's considered the provision of taxi ranks would make assault less likely, as only taxis will be able to pull up outside the bars and clubs, and at the time the bars and clubs are active, it's likely that taxis will be in these ranks, limiting the space available for other vehicles to pull up. One objector suggests that the proposed loading ban on Victoria Street will be bad for business. Consultation with properties in the vicinity of the business was undertaken, and on Stanley Street, where we propose now to put an additional loading bay to allow the business to load. No negative comments were received as part of the proposal, but the objector wishes the objection to remain with the view that loading directly on Victoria Street would be more convenient for the business. Final objection was from a business within the Met Quarter who complained that the existing loading bay on Stanley Street, which operates as a loading bay from 6 PM till 10 AM and a taxi rank from 10 AM to 6 PM. The business only opens at 9:30, so this only leaves half an hour for loading. The objector also requested that the existing access only except for taxis restriction turning from Victoria Street into Stanley Street be removed to again help with loading. These two, the taxi rank operation has been amended, so it operates as loading bay until 11 a.m, giving an extra hour for loading and tax rank for the rest of the time. And the access restriction is to be removed to see how that goes as a result of the objection. The objector also requested an existing part-time loading bay and disabled bay on Sir Thomas Street have the hours amended to again give more time for loading, but the council didn't wish to adjust the hours of the disabled bay, so we didn't make any changes as a result of that part of the objection. As a result, the objector wishes the objection to stand.
Thank you. Thank you, Oliver. Pam, do you have any questions?
Yeah, again, I've read the report and the objection sent in, and I saw further clarification on the disabled parking bays, and actually was in Victoria Street today, and it's looking really good. It's much improved, and I was able to see where those bays were, so I think they are adequate. They've been taken into account, and the objections have been dealt with as best they can be, so I would support it.
Thank you. Thank you, Oliver. I think it's rather detailed, and I think where possible, we've tried to address a lot of the concerns raised from people who have made the objections. And at this time, as a City Council, we are looking to work with as many businesses as possible, as we are, putting in measures to support businesses during COVID-19 as we start to reopen. So I think obviously, it's detailed in the report, and I agree with Councillor Thomas that we have tried to do as much as possible in terms of, addressing the concerns and make changes where possible. So I propose that we approve the proposal. Councillor Thomas, are you okay with? You agree? Yeah. So the proposal is approved from the committee, and that is the last of our agenda items for this evening's committee. I would like to thank you all for your time, and thank you.
Thank you, colleagues, and that concludes this evening's live stream of proceedings.
Thank you.